This is a basic operation of the 321E and 321E-HP. These units use the same operating procedure. On the 321E three-phase pumps, the water supply needs to be installed here. This helps cool the hydraulics. The outlet will go to the mix station. The water needs to be hooked up prior to electrical hookup. Before hooking up the electrical power, ensure that the master disconnect switch is turned off. Please read warning labels before applying electrical power to the unit. The three-phase pumps require a 208 to 230 volt, three-phase 50 amp power. The unit can now be hooked up to the proper power. Once we have the proper power to the unit, we will need to check the rotation of the electric motor. This can be done by turning on the master disconnect rapidly and then turning it back off. A directional arrow is located on the motor. While turning the main disconnect on and off, look at the direction the belt is turning. The belt should turn in the same direction as the arrow. Once motor rotation is verified, we can now turn on the master disconnect switch. If the motor is found to be turning in the wrong direction, the power leads will have to be swapped to change the rotation of the motor. This needs to be done by a qualified electrician. Now that we have the unit plugged into the proper power, turn the volume control all the way down and turn out 1/2 turn. Now that the motor is turning, the power on light should be on. The pump on light is only illuminated when the pump is pumping. So, for operation at the spray station, place the switches in auto and remote. The operator now has control of the pump at the spray station. For operation at the spray station, attach the remote at the electrical control box. Align the pins and plug in. This latch should easily capture the housing. It should not be forced. For operation at the remote, off and on. For operation at the mix station, place the machine in on. At any time during operation, if the machine is in on or remote, you can stop the pump by placing the toggle switches in the middle position. I will now demonstrate the hookup of the floor hopper to the 321E family of pumps. This floor hopper can be used across the 321E family of pumps. Insert the suction hose into the pump. While hooking this up, ensure that it's properly seated. These cam locks should easily snap onto the hose. You should not have to force these cam locks. Forcing these cam locks will cause the pins to break. We'll now lock the casters to keep the hopper from moving. Install the suction hose. Cam locks should snap over easily to retain the suction hose. Also, during operation, do not step on the suction hose. And now you can introduce the water to the hopper. The water is used to wet or lubricate the hoses for the material. Now that we have water in the hopper and the pump is now pumping, we can turn the speed of the pump up to suit the sprayer. The full speed adjustment will be within the first turn and a half of this volume control. Once we have the speed set, once the water level gets to the bottom of the hopper, we can now introduce the properly mixed material to the hopper. We will now hook up the material hose to the 321. HyFlex recommends heavy-duty fittings for use on all piston pumps. Cam locks are not to be used on piston pumps. We will now hook up the material hose and we will open the pressure valve so we can see material line pressure, and this is the relief valve to relieve material line pressure. On the 321E standard and the 321E-HP high pressure, These units will have an onboard air compressor. This is the connection point for the air compressor. Remember, during operation, the fittings can become very hot, so do not touch these after a long day of use. And again, the basic operation of the 321E and 321E-HP are the same.